Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Victory IS. Today we have taken up another topic associated with environment and ecology, and that topic is significantly important for the prelims examination 2026. So obviously we are not going to talk about the static area related to water pollution, rather this is a series which we are running in environment and ecology related to the current affairs with respect to environment and ecology. So, all those topics which are related to over utilization of water or pollution of the water, or the initiatives which have been taken to minimize the pollution of water, all those topics we are going to take up today that have been seen in the newspapers in the last 2-3 years. So, let us begin with the first topic. So, the first topic is related to Puneet Sagar Abhiyan program. So, first thing you should know that obviously this, just a second. So, first thing that you should know that this initiative or this program was launched by NCC. NCC means National Cadet Corps. See, nowadays UPSC has started framing questions from the areas which are not very well covered in the static classrooms, in the traditional classrooms. Like they might ask things about this, like they have been asking questions related to a number of forces. So, National Cadet Corps, you should know this news is not that much important, but the informations pertaining to National Cadet Corps NCC might be asked considering the kind of questions they have been framing. But before that, let us talk about this news and then I will come to the NCC part as well. So, NCC started this program, not year and all those things are not important at all, and you should know that June 5th is the World Environment Day. So, they started and it continued till June 5th, which happened to be the World Environment Day. So, this information is important for the prelims examination. The campaign was launched, not important, this is important that this was launched by NCC. Obviously, as the name itself suggests, what is the objective? It is saying Puneet Sagar. Puneet is related to purity. Puneet means, Puneet एक हिंदी term है. Puneet is a Hindi term which means purity or holiness. It is related to holiness. So, Puneet means pure, Puneet means holy. So, basically it is talking about the purity of the Sagar. Sagar over here refers to the water bodies. It is not just talking about the oceans or the seas, it is referring to all kinds of water bodies. So, this campaign was launched, not the date important, but yes, to keep seashores, beaches free from plastic and other waste material, although they have not mentioned, but it also includes the other water bodies as well. So, all the water bodies which are polluted because of the plastics, because of the different kind of waste dumping that is done into the ocean areas, into the different kinds of water bodies, that has to be minimized. That is the idea. Anyway, moving further. So, talking about the campaign, the campaign says that the waste collected during the campaign is to be disposed of, obviously, but how they are going to dispose it. So, they are going to dispose it in a manner so that it could be reused, this could be recycled, and if at all there is a possibility of converting it into manure, that could also be done. So that is why it is done in an environment friendly manner. That is the idea. This waste is to be converted into wealth. If you have seen my previous videos, we have been talking about this model of converting waste into wealth. That is one of the missions of our Prime Minister's Advisory Council. Anyway, so during the campaign, the awareness programs would be run, and this awareness program will organize a number of competitions pertaining to essay writing, article writing, poster making, debate competition. All those things would be organized in order to raise awareness with respect to the pollution that is incurring in the ocean bodies and the water bodies, and what kinds of implications it has if at all they are not kept clean. So that is the idea. Not that important how many people participated, not important. But yes, Puneet Sagar Abhiyan was launched by NCC in a bid to clean seashores that we have already talked about, or beaches and other water bodies. That is what I said. It not only includes the seashores and the beaches, it also includes the other water bodies, including rivers, lakes. By removing the plastics and the other waste, the campaign aims to increase awareness. This is how they have been increasing the awareness among the local population. You know, it is not just the tourists who are polluting the water bodies, seashores and the beaches. It is also the local population. Moreover, awareness among the local population would be more helpful. You must have heard of something called as local community participation when it comes to initiatives like this. So that is how they are going to ensure that local population is also kept into loop in this cleanliness drive. And this is how they are going to do. This line is not important. This line is talking about the news, that it is the latest phase of the nationwide flagship campaign. Okay, moving further. So let's talk a bit about NCC. As I said, UPSC has been asking questions which are becoming unpredictable nowadays, but NCC is something that is almost everyone has heard of, and many of you must be part of it also. So let's see what exactly is it. NCC, National Cadet Corps. It is said to be youth military wing of armed forces, Indian armed forces. This is a very important line. It is said to be youth military wing. Youth military wing means the youths from schools, colleges, universities, they are to be given some training for leading a disciplined life, plus a sense of patriotism. A sense of patriotism. So that is the broader idea of NCC. It is an executive body created under a Parliamentary Act of 1948. You see, over here it should be written. If it is not written, I will tell you. So it is not written. It is National Cadet Corps Act of 1948, under which this body has been created. So it is the youth wing of Indian Armed Forces, headquartered in New Delhi. It is open to students from schools, colleges on a voluntary basis, obviously. And it comprises of Army, Navy and Air Wing. Though the wing is engaged in developing the youth into disciplined and patriotic citizens. the cadets are recruited from these, and the emblem of NCC comprises of 3 colors. At times it is being asked in interview if you come from NCC or something. So, discipline and unity is their motto, and the red color symbolizes the Indian Army, dark blue Navy, and light blue is talk about the Indian Air Force. So, they all are part of it. Anyway, but you should know that this NCC, which I said that it is the youth military wing of Indian Armed Forces, but it is obviously not an active military wing. No, it is not active, it is a passive one. It is just to inculcate a sense of patriotism and disciplined life at an early age among the students. Anyway, moving to another scheme. This is scheme, if you look at हर घर जल, नाम से ही बहुत कुछ क्लैरिटी है. हर घर जल, the name itself gives a lot of clarity that हर घर जल means, in English it should be like water at every household. So, name itself clarifies the objective, that the objective of this project, this program is to ensure the availability of water. What kind of water? Tap water. Tap potable water should be available at every household in the villages. This scheme is not implemented in urban areas. This scheme is being implemented in rural areas. So, in the villages. So, the idea is to connect every household in the rural areas with the tap water, and the Gram Sabha will pass a resolution saying that not a single household is left out, and thereafter once every village in a state gets certified like this, that state is declared as, that state can be declared as Har Ghar Jal. So, this is how this tagging has been done, and by now nearly 80% of the rural households, this is what the ministry is saying, that nearly 80% of the households by now have been covered under this program. So, that is the claim. Obviously, we understand that the government data is not that much reliable. There are a lot of lacuna in the collection of data, in the processing of data, but this is what the ministry is saying. So, if it comes in the examination, this has to be true. Har Ghar Jal program aims to encourage the state to ensure tap water connections to every household by 2024. So, that is the mission, and this program is part of Jal Jeevan mission. So, this Har Ghar Jal is not an independent program, rather it is part of the Jal Jeevan mission, and which is to be implemented under Ministry of Jal Shakti. So, these are the facts that you should know. Current status, whatever it is given up to 2022. So, this is not a right fact, because this news has been picked from 2022, then the newspapers claimed those things, but now the facts have changed. Okay, moving to another news, another current development, which is related to Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Toolkit. So, as the name suggests, it is some kind of toolkit related to related to Swachh Sarvekshan, wherein this toolkit will provide guidelines regarding the assessment of cleanliness, regarding the assessment of cleanliness in districts and villages. So, this is how this toolkit was given, but this is not that important, but you should know broader idea what exactly this toolkit is going to do. So, this toolkit was launched. The most important thing in this current development is something else, I will tell you later on, just wait. So, this was launched in 2023 obviously as the part of technical session on rural wash partnership, the way forward. So, you should know about this program, this project of UNICEF, rural wash. So, WASH over here stands for water, sanitation and hygiene. Water, sanitation and hygiene. So, this is a program, a project to be implemented by UNICEF and WHO, obviously in collaboration with the national governments where it is to be implemented. So, this is an international project, you should know that. And over here, as the technical session of this WASH program organized on the second day of India Water Week. So, India Water Week gets organized by Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. This is a very important water week. Do remember, international communities participate in this. The experts from all across the world are called in this event and they share their opinion, the best practices that could be taken up in order to minimize the pollution level, in order to take up the cleanliness drive for having access to potable water. Anyway, so technical sessions chaired by Ministry of Jal Shakti, all these things are not that important, but you should know that it is in collaboration with academia, experts and other in WASH sector. So, that is WASH sector or call it WASH project. People from all the areas, academics, experts will come to this, have a discussion, will share the best water solution practices. Anyway, moving further. So, this is saying that this has been conducted by Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation in a more competitive and participatory manner. Not that important. This initiative aims to rank, I told you, the states and districts based on the performance, quantitative and qualitative manner under this mission. So, basically the ranking of the states should be done based on the performance in Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin and that ranking toolkit is provided by that Swachh Sarvekshan toolkit. So, it has the information related to various stages of assessment, baseline ranking of the panchayats and the districts. So, as I said that they are taking care of basically the rankings of the villages or call it gram panchayats and the districts, and based on that the state ranking would be done. India Water Week, this is very important, again I am saying, is organized every year. First thing, it is organized every year. Which ministry? Jal Shakti ministry. Not which edition, not important, but all these two facts very important. But why this is important, why I am saying, because it is focusing on state of the art wash technologies. Wash, remember I told you, is water, sanitation and hygiene. So, wash technologies, innovations and solutions. So, all those things will be taken up for discussion and the feasible solutions will be taken up at the level, at the ground level for implementation. Anyway, as I said that people from different countries have taken part in this event. So that is why it is a good event, you should know about this. It is an important one. Moving further, another news. This news is related to World Ocean Day, not a very important current affairs development, but there are certain things in between which could be asked in the prelims examination. First thing, World Ocean Day, 8th of June it should be, yes. So it is celebrated, it is observed every year on 8th of June. So it is World Ocean Day. And if you remember, few minutes back only I told you that 5th June is World Environment Day, right? So just remember these facts. So why it is celebrated? Obviously the importance of oceans is huge in our life, in supporting countless flora and fauna. So basically oceans are life savers. So for that reason we need to conserve the oceans, their flora and fauna, the biodiversity that exists, the beautiful coral ecosystem. So for that reason it is trying to raise awareness with respect to minimizing the pollution level of the marine ecosystems. So all those things would be done. So you see, oceans are the lungs of the earth, critical part of biosphere and a major source of food and medicine. So obviously anything sensible and rational could be written with respect to the importance of oceans, and for that reason every year 8th of June we celebrate World Ocean Day. So over here nothing much as such important, just remember the timeline which is very important. This theme is also not important because it is the theme of 2022. So read the themes of the recent events. So let's talk about this. The idea of observing ocean was brought by this one is important. You know, how does it came into existence? So this came into existence by Ocean Institute of Canada in 1992. This all came into picture after Earth Summit. You must have heard of something called as Rio Summit. This Earth Summit is also called Rio Summit या Rio Earth Summit, कुछ भी बोलते हैं. And the official name is UN Conference on Environment and Development. This 1992 Earth Summit or Rio Summit is a very important summit when it comes to the efforts taken for climate actions. All those actions, all those efforts that we are taking in order to deal with the problem called climate change. So this summit is very, so first summit of some important landmark summit happened for ensuring the sustainable development or to deal with problem of climate change and global warming happened in 1972, Stockholm Conference. And in this conference it was decided that every 20 years we should meet, rediscuss our plan, recalibrate our plan, and in the backdrop of this, after 20 years they met again in 1992, and this time the summit happened in Rio de Janeiro, and that is why it is called Rio Summit, right? And very important summit. After this summit, something very important, you every time keep on hearing about this term, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change came into existence after this summit. So I am telling you, this summit is very important. In fact, if you know something called as CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, this also came into existence after this Rio Summit of 1992. One more thing today you got to know, that this idea of World Ocean Day also comes from the Earth Summit of Rio de Janeiro. Anyway, so But this is not coming in 1992. This came into remembrance, or resolution was passed in 2008, and June 8 was designated as World Oceans Day. The day was first observed in 2019. Not very important, theme keeps on changing every year. So, the first theme, or the latest theme you should know. Then Earth Summit, I told you this Rio Summit is also called Earth Summit. So, just have a look, I have already discussed more than what is written here. Let us take up another news, another current affairs development. Waste free and water surplus village, a small case study. This news is important as a case study. You can use this case study in the means examination, and which will fetch you very good marks. You should quote certain case studies in a box while writing the means examination. Create a box and write certain relevant case studies, they fetch you very good marks. So, such case studies should be written. It is a Papla village of Himachal Pradesh, which has done some beautiful work with respect to water conservation and dealing with the solid waste. So, for that reason this village was in news. So, they have constructed water harvesting structures, soak pits, and plastic waste processing plant has been installed. So, for this reason this village is in news. So, that is what I said, it is a classic case study. If at all anything related to water harvesting or waste management comes into picture in means examination, you should quote this village as the classic example in dealing with the problem of water scarcity as well as the problem of solid waste management. Other than this, these things are not very important for you. Then let us talk about this news. India's coastal cleanup campaign, name itself is clear that it is a cleanliness drive in the coastal areas of India. So, this is an initiative, a campaign of union government, obviously to keep the coastal areas clean. Not how many beaches have been targeted, not important. So, this campaign was launched under Ministry of Earth Science. So, this Ministry of Earth Science, the minister is Jitendra Singh, and coastal cleanup drive will start from this, not again. So, just the objective and the ministry is more than sufficient in this. Okay. So, significance, I have already said a lot of things, but yes, let us have a reading for once. The cleanup drive is one of its kind initiatives, and it is going to be the longest running drive with the highest participation. All these things are not that important. It is one of the reasons for campaign called, so just remember that this campaign has also another name, Swachh Sagar Surakshit Sagar. So, the Hindi version of that cleanup coastal campaign. The aim of the campaign will be started with the aim of cleaning around these many tons. Again, these facts not important, just the idea that it is trying to keep the coastal areas, marine ecosystems clean. Basically, it is a cleanliness drive related to coastal areas, operating under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, so let us move further. Let us see if at all there is something over here to remember. International Coastal Cleanup Day is celebrated in September 17. If you can remember, that would be a good fact. How do you remember such facts? If you know some of your friends who are having birthday close to this. So just relate with that, otherwise you will forget everything. So accordingly you can remember, otherwise we have discussed everything that was there. Then an initiative taken up in Kerala, tetrapod. Tetrapod means, tetra means 4 and pod means feet. So it is a 4 feet sea wall. Basically a structure has been created which is 4 feet kind of a structure. So by using this structure, by using this tetrapod, a seawall has been created for reducing coastal erosion. So it is an innovative measure basically, which has been taken by the government, because earlier the traditional sea walls which were created by using brick and mortar, they used to collapse under the pressure of the water. So now they have stacked, they have piled up these tetrapods, because even if the water with the pressure comes up, they will not move, they will have lesser tendency, or they will require greater force to move them compared to the traditional sea walls which are made by the brick and mortar. So let us have a reading. Government's coastal conservation project, a tetrapod based sea wall has been implemented in Kerala's district, is not important. Then the conventional sea wall that was created in Chellanam failed to check sea ingress. Sea ingress means sea water intrusion, which resulted in massive ruin and destruction. Now due to tetrapod based sea wall, stretches were most vulnerable to sea erosion have remained by and large safe. So that is what I am saying, that it is more powerful way of controlling or reducing the coastal erosion. Okay, moving further. So what kind of questions will be asked from this? See, they can ask you what are the measures that can be taken in order to deal with coastal erosion. So this was in the news, they'll write this, some other logical and scientific methods which you might have read in the static learnings, and then accordingly a question will come up. Anyway, let's see the I think second or third last topic of the day. World Water Congress and Exhibition 2022. So this Water Congress and Exhibition 2022 is not important. Let me tell you which all things are important. So it is International Water Association's first thing, that this exhibition, this congress is related to International Water Association. Very important. So it organized in Denmark. Which country it was organized, not important, because it is the news of 2022. So they are not going to ask you the country, but this organization which have been organizing this congress becomes important for you. Then there are certain things which are important, I will tell you, is organized every year across the world to bring together experts to share insights, networks and the businesses. So basically this exhibition, this congress aims to bring people together and share insights about dealing with the water problem and its solutions. So, and it is organized every year. Something very important will happen in this congress which is related to India. So that is again important, we will come to that. This is not important. It showcased best practices in Denmark and other Nordic countries. I am just trying to give you additional information that Nordic countries you should know. These are the questions that could be asked any day. So which all countries are the Nordic countries? If you know, it is Iceland, it is Denmark, It is Sweden, Norway and Finland. So these 5 countries are the part of Nordic countries. There are some small islands as well. If they come up in the news, then only remember. Otherwise, these are prominently the 5 countries. A cultural kind of having cultural homogeneity. So they are called Nordic countries. They are part of northwestern Europe. If you have seen the map of Europe, you will realize this peninsula of Europe, this one, this country is Norway, this is Sweden, this one is Finland, and over here is Iceland, and over here is Denmark. So just have a look over the map. Anyway, moving further, during this event, this part is important. During this event, India and Denmark launched joint white paper on wastewater treatment. This one is very important, that India and Denmark have concluded an agreement, a joint white paper for urban wastewater management. So obviously wastewater in urban areas is a big problem. Hardly 40% of the wastewater that is generated in the urban areas gets treated up. So there is huge incapacity, under capacity with respect to treatment of the wastewater in the urban areas. So India and Denmark has come to a joint agreement wherein Denmark will provide innovative technologies, solutions for enhancing the capacity of urban wastewater treatment. So this is a very good initiative. Anyway, so from India, this is jointly prepared by Indian government consisting of partners Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, Jal Shakti Ministry, then National Mission on Clean Ganga, then a lot of stakeholders are here. So the things that I told you, at least write those things. As I said about the wastewater, this white paper agreement on urban wastewater scenario in India was comprehensively capture the present status of wastewater treatment, what is the present status and how it could be improved. Its purpose is to create opportunities for future treatment structures. So that is what I said, that it is first of all going to measure the status, what exactly is the current scenario and what else could be done, how it could be improved. Then Indo-Danish bilateral green strategic partnership. Do remember this phrase. There could be a question, direct question, green strategic partnership is associated with which of the following? Very good question. Anyway, so it is related to the same thing. So I am not going to repeat, but you should know that. Okay, now coming to the last topic, I would say a concept has been given by Niti Aayog. This is not yet under implementation. Please note that it is not yet under implementation. This is just a concept which has been given by Niti Aayog. नीति आयोग बोलता है कि जैसे स्टॉक्स की ट्रेडिंग होती है, जैसे गोल्ड सिल्वर की ट्रेडिंग होती है, इन दी सिमिलर फैशन वी शुड ट्रेड वाटर. बट किसी भी चीज को ट्रेड करने के लिए इट हैज टू बी अ कमोडिटी. In order to trade something, trade means what? Sale and purchase of something. It has to be a commodity, and this commodity should have ownership. Somebody should own that commodity, and once somebody is owning a particular commodity, that person can sell that commodity. So in India, water is neither treated as commodity, and obviously no one has ownership over the water. But Niti Aayog is talking about the treated wastewater. Niti Aayog is thinking about a mechanism wherein the stakeholders, the companies which will be involved in treating wastewater, the urban wastewater that I told you hardly 40% of it is getting treated. If some company can treat this wastewater, and by treating that wastewater it will gain some credits, water credits, and these water credits could be sold to all those stakeholders, those who are polluting the water, those who are responsible for the pollution of this water. So, this is how this water trading mechanism will work. So, I said that this water trading mechanism is for the treated wastewater, yet not under implementation. This is a concept given by Niti Aayog, wherein they are planning to trade the treated urban wastewater by providing credits to the companies, those who are treating the wastewater, and that credit could be sold to the stakeholders who are responsible for pollution of the water. So, this is how this trading idea, water trading idea has come into picture. So, this is all about this current developments pertaining to the water pollution and water issues. Thank you so very much. If you are liking our initiative, do share with your friends and family. Enjoy the day. Thank you.